Derrimon Trading, as you may know, is one of the major distributors here in Jamaica. They distribute several products from Jamaica and the region. So let's introduce the new CEO of Derrimon Trading, Ian Kelly. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Khalila. Happy birthday. Trust
Thank
me, you're
you.
having a wonderful day, and I guess I've chosen the best days to spend with you.
Yes,
Birthday.
yes. My birthday present. Thanks, Ian. And there's some new letters behind your name, aren't there? You got a prime one of the awards at the last Heroes Day
Well,
celebration.
it was 2 years ago. I was
It was 2 years. I swear it was last
receiving
year.
Order of Distinction, the commander class
OD.
for
Sorry, yes. Ian
work
Kelly,
I
OD.
C-
OD,
C-
CEO,
CD.
all the letters.
I think it's
CD,
CD, not
CD.
OD.
CD. Okay, good. Good to get it right. Well, tell us a bit about your background in business and your history with Derrimon.
Well, I'm from humble beginnings in Clarendon. I went to the Clarendon College. I then left Clarendon. I went to Excelsior Community College, where I did many things: diploma in business administration, majoring in accounting. At the same time, did some A levels, three A levels at the same time. Matriculated to University of the West Indies, where I did a bachelor's in accounting, and it is registered in 1992 for my bachelor's degree that I met Derek Cottrell. We were both in the line, the queue, registering for courses, and that's where it started. 1992, 33 years of friendship, and then I finished. I actually studied full time and work at JPS in the early days. Upon completing my master's degree in 1998, I then went and did the certified public accounting course in Georgia, where I got qualified as a CPA. I came back, started, I worked with the JPS up to 2002. Then I went to be the treasurer of RBTT Bank when it was Union Bank was bought by RBTT Trinidad. I stayed there, started RBTT Securities, where I was the first general manager in 2005. Upon the sale to Royal Bank of Canada, I decided I wanted to stay put. So I took the package and then went to the Wharton Business School to do some more studies in leadership and strategy and entrepreneurship. I came back home and was senior vice president at First Global Financial Services, and I spent 1 year, and I was made redundant on the 1st of April
Wow.
2011, and I decided to chill for a few months. And Derek asked me why work for somebody else and not join the firm. I went in there as a corporate planner, did and the director for finance. But my job wasn't just those core activities. I was responsible for most of the acquisitions. In fact, we did 15 acquisitions during that time that I'm here. And I moved from corporate planner, finance director to chief financial officer with responsibility for retail, the Sampar's growth. And then I moved to group chief financial officer whilst we were doing many of the acquisition, Caribbean Flavors, Woodcats, Arosa, Food Saver New York. And here I am today. I have been given the mandate to really move the company beyond the potential that we know it has with, the team as well as to get new ideas. And that's what I am about, and that's what we
Yeah.
aim to do over the
You see
next.
how that works out? You were
Yes.
made redundant, but I feel like it was for a reason. It's because you had a different calling.
Yes, I always look at opportunities, Khalila. I never see eventualities as a setback. I see it as an opportunity, and that is what I try to inculcate in my children. Also, I mean, even though they may be of different ages, my advice to them, as always, and to my nieces and to whoever I in contact with, use opportunities as a stepping stone to be great, and never dwell on the event. Think about the opportunities, and I live it. That's how I live my life, and that's how I continue to at least practice and to ensure that whatever we do, that is one of the legacy that I would wish to leave back here.
Yeah. So you've been with the company now for 14 years,
14.
rising through the ranks
Yes.
alongside your friend,
Yes.
Derek Cottrell. What was that conversation like when Derek said, "Boy, I'm ready to move on and just take a different role in the company." You take it on, Ian.
Well, 6 years ago, Derek told me that, Ian, you need to be more involved in some other aspects of the company, because at a certain age, I am moving on, and it would be a travesty if in moving decide to move on, that you are not ready to take on the mantle. And whilst I am gone outside into another space, what I'm doing is really giving new ideas based on my thought process. He believed that you train people to be better than you who you are, and you train people to bring new ideas. And even though I was in the finance role, the first role is totally different from the second role.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, the exposure that I've been given in managing relationships and managing the different aspects of a company, I think give me the perfect platform on which that we need to, critically look at what we must do, ensure that we have the right people in the right places, and then we move to do what is required to, at least unleash much of the potential that is within the group.
It's a big transition to move a company from founder led, and it has been founder led for the past however many years Derrimon has been in existence and Derek has been at the helm, to handing over the reins to somebody else. It takes a lot of trust. And it must be, even, I don't know if for you, Ian, because like you said, you've been kind of groomed for the position, but on Derek's part, did you sense any trepidation, any fear of handing over the reins and giving the company a different life, a new life?
Absolutely not. I think if you understand Derek is one of those individuals who has certain beliefs and is very focused on things, on planning. And I think um, I sometimes wonder if it is for real, given the way that he would have transitioned and has transitioned. He has really transitioned by giving us the opportunity to do what we think should be the platform within the policy direction. I thought it would have been a little harder for him, but I think he's having fun also, given the role that he has been given as executive chairman. And it is also a pleasure to sit with him, even more now in that role, to look at strategies, to get some of the ideas, or to bounce off some of the ideas that I have, and also even just to laugh about some of the issues that confronts us on a daily basis, and to even hear his response. So quite frankly, it is a big one, but I think given where he has been for the last 25 years, I think it is just the right time for him. And it shows also that he's about growth, he's about continuity, and he's about, giving reward for persons who he thinks is in a position to live his dream.
So what are some of your immediate priorities as CEO?
Well, the first thing that I've been doing is that I've been looking at a few things. I think we'll have to be a technology driven company. We have to focus on both employees and customers in um, in equality, in order to ensure that the products that we have to deliver to them, it is done at a price at speed. And I want us to be a customer centric organization. I want us to be able to can take up the phone at all levels and make a call. And we know that whatever I am saying as the CEO, what is being communicated at the different levels is what is expected from everybody. I want us to be an organization that can be trusted by all stakeholders, and I want to make money so that everybody can enjoy the benefits that accrues with performance.
Naturally. But you are taking over the company at a difficult time globally. We see President Trump is now in, there's all this uncertainty about the tariffs. What do you make of all of that? How's that going to affect Derrimon's business as a major distributor?
Well, look at it like this, Galila. Last year we had a rather tough year. And I think out of those tough situations, there comes about opportunities. I think, as I've said to you before, with every single situation, there's opportunities. And I think globally, what we have to do is to take a look at the opportunities, ensure that we are focused, ensure that our strategies are aligned with some of what we're seeing, ensure that we carved out some levels of opportunities from many of these things. Yes, or subsidiaries in the US will experience some of the issues. Yes, given the fact that we are a distribution company, many of the global impacts from tariffs will impact some of the things that we do. But hey, if we should sit and think about that in totality, then we would not achieve what we need to achieve. What we need to do is that we need to look at the opportunities and be swift. I think the brain power that we have within the company and the person with whom we consult with should be able to help assist us to really, ensure that we take first movers advantage and be able to react based on some of the issues and the opportunities that comes with some of these new market changes.
But are any of your products directly affected?
There will be. There will be because of the fact that we import, also because we also have to export to the US. We have to import from different markets to the US markets. For example, avocado. Most of the avocado that we sell in our New York subsidiary is from Mexico, with the no taxation on what is coming from Mexico, what is coming out of China,
Right. I forgot you
etc.,
guys had the New York
etc.
supermarket, which you
Yes,
use the
but
APO funds to acquire.
exactly. And we went through a turbulent time last year with the tragedy that we had in New York. But the truth is that we are back and we are making some
What,
strides. And the
what
fact
what
is that
tragedy was that? What tragedy was that in New
we,
York?
in March last year, we had a collapse of the roof. So we were
Oh,
literally closed. So our financial results would have excluded about 40% of our year-over-year revenue based on what transpired. So we were only back in business with one section of the business in late November and the other part in February of this year. So um, that beset us for almost a year in our operation. But the truth is, whatever is happening to us is also what is happening to other players within the market. So it is for us to look and to see how we can make some different moves, or we are able to buy, or we're able to form different alliances, or we're able to use our opportunities within Jamaica, since Jamaica is not yet one of those country that is adversely impacted given the CBI initiatives, etc. So we should be able to pivot in some way, given that some of our raw material sources are impacted by tariffs, etc.
remind us of some of the major brands that you carry.
Our house brand is Delect, which we would have been building out over the last 5 years. The Delect brand, we Sun Powder, we do Golden Brands, we do Refresh Water, we do Nestle, we do some other products for other distributors in Jamaica, smaller products such that is white label. Our famous Spice Hill brand is our latest acquisition would have been the Arosa brand, where we are purveyors of wines as well as we do meat processing for the distribution and the hotel sector. So we have a broad spectrum of things that we do, and which we intend to be broadening and to be making even deeper inroads within the market this year.
What's the bigger part of the business, the distribution or the retail, your supermarkets, your Sampars and so?
Surprisingly, Sampars and Select is now being a bigger part than our distribution business. But we intend to grow both element segments of the business even um, greater this year based on the business plan. Sampars accounts for about 52% Sampar Select of our revenue, whilst the distribution aspect is about 48% based on our last check at the end of the 2024 financial year. But it is a year that had some challenges, and we expect to see both areas growing significantly in 2025, and from where we would have seen based on the first month of the
Right,
year, quite
because
encouraging.
the supermarket is outperforming the distribution, even with one of your supermarkets in New York being closed for several months.
Right, right. But you see, that is one of the reasons why we tend to be, people would have asked, why are you broadening your portfolio? We want to have some level of resilience in events of shocks. And as a result of that, we are in supermarket, we're in retail, we're in pallet making, we're in meat processing, we're in flavors manufacturing. So we're able to at least pivot in the event that there are issues. And I think, quite frankly, we see some sweet spots within the retail sector. And that's something that we'll intend to get even deeper over the next 3 to 5 years.
What sweet spots are those?
Look at it, Jamaica. There is a lot of new developments in the country. There's a lot of new dormitory committees. There's a lot of new requirements for shopping, and as a result of that, we intend to look at it and to see how our model fits within those um, levels of urbanization slash, and we'll accordingly, ensure that our strategy aligns with that level of development that is happening within our country.
So I have a question from one of your shareholders, Sherwayne, giving you a tough time, Ian. Sherwayne says, Derrimon has some explaining to do from I bought it, no appreciation and no dividends payment, and all after acquiring an overseas business. So where's my money?
Well, the truth is, I can understand. It's not true that we haven't paid dividends. We have paid dividends before, but if you recognize what we would have borrowed, every single penny of our equity expansions has been used for acquisition. Yes, some of them, the gestation period for a few of them have been longer than was anticipated. But certainly, I think we are at the end of the road, and we hope to be at the end of the road this year, whereby the growth and the appreciation is expected. And we have a plan, and certainly that plan is really to perform and to perform it, that so that our stakeholders can be rewarded. And I thank shareholders for their commitment and also for believing in us and for staying the course. But I'm sure you would have seen some of the appreciation in terms of the valuation of the company. Is just now for us to move from the valuation to conversion, and for them to be rewarded. But from a policy position, that is what we must do, and that is one of my mandate. And I intend to ensure that the team that I'm leading is so energized that we are able to deliver, so that rewards can be provided.
Next question from Learn, Grow, Invest, who wanted to know more about the roof collapse. Was it due to negligence or poor weather? What happened?
It was a combination of negligence of the aspects of negligence in our view from maintenance from the landlord. But they were in the process of doing the repair. There was a rainstorm and a windstorm, and with the rainstorm and the windstorm, it comes with certain issues, and that's what created the problems for us.
And follow-up question coming from Strong Link wanting to know if insurance covered that.
We're always insured. Insured. In fact, insurance is one of our biggest costs. You would have seen if you're looking at our financials that over the last few years, insurance would cost would have gone up by almost 40%. The building was insured. We had insurance, so it's just a matter of us making the claims. However, you understand insurance and insurance claims in the US and even in Jamaica, it takes time and it takes a process, and we are going through that process as we speak.
Next question comes from 007. I think he might want to do business with you. Do you have warehouse space for long-term lease?
Absolutely not. We don't have any warehouse space for long-term lease at the moment.
Okay, Roswell wants to know why don't you buy into a company that can bring in dividend income that can help cushion expenditure and more?
I think that is what we would have done. Why would have been not only in retail and distribution, we're in manufacturing, pallet manufacturing, mulch manufacturing. We would have been in flavors manufacturing, fragrance manufacturing. We would have been in manufacturing of other products. We would have been in meats manufacturing. We would have been in wine distribution. So the business, I think, is quite diverse. And I think if it wasn't that diverse and to lose 40% of your revenue within 1 year, whilst you'll have to maintain many of the costs because of the operating environment, I'm not sure where we would have been. So I think based on our strategy, it is working. It's just for us to fine tune many of the different aspects that we see that we need to do. And that is something that we are about, we are committed to be doing. And it's something that I know that the team that I led is committed to ensuring that that is happening this financial year.
You mentioned earlier in the interview that you were in charge of acquisitions for the company. Do you have any acquisitions or expansion on the horizon? Any new supermarkets, any new locations looking to open?
Kalila, the mandate from the board is to right size to ensure that all the acquisitions are are operating efficiently and effectively. And I think that is our plan this year, is to ensure that we really look at what we have. We look at where the value is that is not extracted. We ensure that we put in the systems and the framework to ensure that these businesses perform before we even think about doing any more acquisitions at this time.
So not necessarily to grow right now, but to manage what you have.
Well, not to grow in that way through acquisition, but to grow by through performance of the businesses
Right.
we have.
All right. Well, I'm wishing you all the best. Ian, anything you'd like to share before you leave?
Well, I just say, I mean, you are here with us in many of our major market activities, and you continue to support us. The public continues to support us. The team continue to be aligned to what we are going to do, what we have been doing, and what we will be doing even new this year. And we just want to at least thank them for their commitment, and certainly they will help us to ensuring that the growth in the Dillette brand, the growth in the refresh brand, since they are shareholders, they are literally buying what is there, and that will translate into outcomes that will benefit them.
Thanks again, Ian. Wishing you all the best for Derrimon Trading and in your new tenure as CEO.